Hello, Delaware Valley, and welcome back to another episode of Cigar Time. Merry Christmas. It's
Merry
Christmas
Christmas.
Eve.
Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. Happy Hanukkah.
Yep.
I'm sure you're much rather be watching us than anything else
Oh,
today.
absolutely. Why
So
not?
we've got another show. I'm going to introduce our distinguished panel. To my right is Rob.
How you doing, everybody?
Nice.
Like the way I
To
do
his
that?
right is Paul.
Hello again.
And after a one-week hiatus, we have Mike back.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
And of course, the lovely T.
Hi, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Oh my God.
Oh, lovely. Again, we're continuing our segment where we're opening this. We're opening the show with a cigar, and today we have the Eduardo Master Blend,
Master Blend. That is
which we
correct.
have been smoking while we've been practicing, actually. So
Yeah, this looks practiced.
yeah,
I
This is
practice
rehearsed.
Smoking all
we're
the
practice
time.
smoking.
Eventually, you'll get it right.
Never. Practice makes perfect. You're going to keep practicing.
Rob, tell us about
over
the
and
cigar.
over. You do it 12 times a day.
This is one of our most popular cigars in the store. It's the Eduardo Master Blend. It comes with a footband, blue footband, and is a Nicaraguan Puro. Nicaraguan filler, binder, and wrapper. Very good. Medium-bodied cigar, not full-bodied at all in any way. It's very, very smooth, and I think it's the best cigar we have.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I agree. I think it's.
We all
absolutely think it's
agree.
the best
We all
cigar out.
agree.
Really?
I'm about to
Best
fall
of the
out because we
Eduardos,
all
yeah.
agree.
I love this cigar, but I still think the Suave is better.
Oh, God.
Because I'm just
Oh,
a...
the
The
center.
Grinch.
This just has
Invited
that
him
little
on the
bit
show.
more
You did.
pepper. Just a little.
Somebody has to be
What do you guys
Black
tell us
So
what you
we're
think
going to
about
put a
it?
rate? Oh, think about it. As you know, this is my favorite. The Master Blend. It has the wrapper, which is sun-grown, one of my favorites. It's not overpowering. You light it up. You want to just keep smoking. The construction is beautiful. And there's no band, but there's a foot band, which is cute. So
When did this become a sun-grown?
I thought it was a sun-grown.
No.
Oh, it's a
The Master
Nicaraguan.
Blend's not a sun-grown?
Nicaraguan,
It's just a Nicaraguan.
Nicaraguan Habano wrapper.
Oh, it's a Habano.
Tastes sun-grown. It's
I
spicy
always
enough.
said sun-grown.
Yeah, it is.
It's got
It's
that,
spicy enough
it's
for
got
one.
that spice.
Yeah,
spice
I
that
always
I can see why you would
Habano
think that.
should have.
Well, I'm mistaken. It's a Habano.
Okay.
All right.
Again, I don't disagree with everyone. It's a fabulous cigar. It's wonderful. I enjoy it. It's a little fuller bodied than the Suave. It's a great cigar, but again, Suave is my number one in the...
Because you like it mild.
Yeah.
You do.
And I
and
love the
creamy.
little bit of
Soft and
spice and pepper that you get from the Habano wrapper.
Absolutely.
It's a smooth cigar. It is a solid medium. There's
Right.
nothing strong about
Right.
this cigar at
Nothing
all.
mild either.
But it's right. It's not mild either. It's just right there.
Yeah, I agree. This is one of my favorite cigars in the store of any kind. Well, our brand, anybody's brand cigar. This is one of my favorite. I smoke probably 2 or 3 of these a day.
Really?
I do.
Wow.
This
Can I ask,
this
does
is
size matter on this one?
I go with the Toro.
You always do Toro.
Yeah, always with the Toro
Yeah,
size.
We're smoking the
But
Robusto
We're
now.
smoking the
Yeah.
Robusto, but yeah, the Toro I think is the best.
I have to agree with everybody. I love the cigar. I am a big fan of Nicaraguan tobacco. However, I think this is more medium. I think it's a little bit stronger than you guys think it is.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe I'm a wuss. I don't know.
Maybe.
you're not.
Maybe.
But I get the. I get this definitely a lot of spice on it. It's nutty. It's very your quintessential
Typical
Nicaraguan
Nicaraguan.
tobacco.
Yeah.
Yeah,
cigar.
absolutely.
It is.
It's
Yeah.
a classic Nicaraguan.
Let's rate them.
So I got to rate, because it's ours and I like it so much, 4.999.
I can tell where that stands.
It's Christmas Eve.
Yeah. Got a little gift on that. It's a 4. For me, it's a definite 4.
Brought
Yeah.
me down.
4.75 for me.
Well, this is a
Really?
4.95 for me.
That really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I love
I'll
the
give it
cigar.
a 4 1/4. I think it's great.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
4.95. It's
All right,
I
so
think
what's
it's-
the average?
The average. 4.5.
Okay.
4.51. And
know how that
speaking
works.
of 4.5, that's what it costs.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
only
wow.
$4.
Look at that.
So once again, it is a phenomenal value.
Yes.
Yeah.
$4.50.
Yep.
For all the
Absolutely.
sizes, doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
except for
the Gordo.
Except the Gordo.
Oh, the Gordo, that's right, 650.
650. Yeah.
That's right. Well,
I
I
think
guess
it's
we'll jump
fantastic.
into our first cigar.
You take it away.
Second cigar.
Second cigar. Well, our first cigar, second
You
cigar.
mean we have to stop smoking?
Yeah, because we're going to smoke another great one, the Fratello. I
Oh, yeah,
love
it
the
is.
Fratello. It's a Nicaraguan wrapper. The binder's an Ecuadorian, and the filler is a Peruvian and Nicaraguan. What is
down.
Peruvian? While
From
she's
Peru.
lighting
From
me
Peru.
up. Can you explain a little bit more? Because Scott was like, I don't know what Peruvian is.
I was.
Peruvian
that?
tobacco is a
I said
little
this.
bit unusual in that it generally is grown high up in the mountains, and most tobacco is grown in lowland valleys. But because Peru is in the Andes, there are valleys that are up there. So rivers are running amidst the mountains, and so it has a different, because it's a high altitude tobacco, it has a slightly different character. Peruvian tends to be pretty strong.
Really?
So it's even when it's not Ligero, Peruvian tobacco tends to be on the potent side.
Might learn something new every day.
There, you see that?
I had no
now,
idea.
the sizes of the
Thank
Fratello
you.
are Corona, Robusto, Toro, and the Tamacle, which is a, did I say that right? Tamacle?
Tamacle.
Which is a 6x60. The taste profile is black pepper, espresso, and some hints of earth, some cream, and dry cedar. That's a little weird. A little strange.
Certainly sounds
Sure.
good.
Strange.
That's right.
It's not. That's called unique.
Dried cheddar.
Dry cedar. But you know what? One thing I know about this,
Did she
I
say
noticed.
cheddar?
No, I said
cheddar.
cedar. One thing I noticed about this cigar, when you first light it up, I mean, it's just not overpowering. It's just a really nice, sweet spice to it. And once I get to the middle, I really enjoy it. And then the end, I just finish it. So.
And this is the Corona size.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody was here during our Big Ash Bash.
Yeah.
The really big guy that towered over everybody, he's the owner of the company. Really
Omar
nice guy.
DeFrias.
Yeah.
You can follow him on Facebook and Instagram. Give him a little plug. There you go.
Good guy.
Big
Good guy.
Omar.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm gonna,
Somebody's
Yeah,
vibrating.
turn things over to Paul.
Paul?
Oh, already?
Oh,
Paul in the field.
Yeah, no.
yeah.
Paul's in the field. Today I'm going to talk to you about Maduro wrappers. And to start with, Maduro means ripe. That's what the word actually means. And Maduro tobacco, forget everything you ever thought you knew about Maduro. Maduro tobacco is truly the result of time in a lot of different ways. First of all, Maduro leaf is left on the plant longer. As we always say, that means more sun, more starch turned into sugar, and more flavor. Maduro also needs to be fermented longer than regular tobacco to develop all of that sugar into real flavor. So Maduros tend to take a long time to make.
Is that why they're more money?
I think
It
more
is
money.
exactly
Oh, I
why
didn't
they're
realize
typically
that.
more money, because it takes time, and as we've talked about during fermentation, there's a lot of manual labor involved in shaking out the leaves and cooling off the fermentation and then restarting it. So it costs a little more, it takes longer, and it happens at a higher temperature. When you're fermenting tobacco, it generates its own heat. Normally you stop it at a relatively low temperature. When you're making Maduro, you let it ferment and get hotter before you stop it.
What's that temperature?
For Maduro, it's usually close to 120.
Wow.
So
and that's all self. They don't.
some people do, and I'm going to come to that.
Okay.
But yeah, basically the heat in fermentation is generated by the fermentation itself.
It's the chemical process, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it happens all by itself. If you pile up tobacco and leave it alone, it's going to ferment, just like anything else. The result of that is a couple of things. As I mentioned, it has a very unique flavor, but the thing about Maduro is people assume that it's going to be strong.
Right.
Yeah.
And actually, Maduros are less strong than some other wrappers because the extra fermentation in time takes the edge off of it. It rounds it out, smooths it.
Makes it sweeter a little bit.
Yeah.
It does make it sweeter because there's so much more
Right,
sugar
sugar, right,
naturally
right.
in the leaf. The other thing that happens, though, when you do this extra fermentation is the tobacco gets darker. Just to give you an example, this is a big fat cigar, but this is what you would call a natural Maduro.
Okay.
It is the result of only time and its own temperature. You asked, however, do they help it along at all?
Right.
And it is actually, this started really during the cigar boom when people couldn't get cigars fast enough. They didn't want to wait as long as it took to do all of the extra fermentation, so they would heat up the piles of tobacco.
How will they do this?
Well, there are a few different ways to do it. One way is they would put little charcoal braziers,
Right.
braziers. I don't know. I
You
thought
say
it was
bra.
braziers.
Okay.
They put charcoal in the fermentation barns, little piles all around, and they light that up and just let it heat up.
Heat up the barn.
It heats up everything around it. Yeah. A more common method is to actually cook the leaf directly. And the way they do that is, well, there are a couple of different ways to do that too. The most common way is to put piles of tobacco in a pressure cooker and actually under steam heat build up pressure, you know, like an old-fashioned pressure cooker.
I think that would break it down more.
Well, it doesn't break it down, it facilitates the fermentation because they don't go to a boil. They don't bring it up to 212 degrees. They just, you know, bring it up.
How long does that take?
You can do that in a couple of days.
Right.
As opposed to months or even years to ferment, to naturally ferment. So sometimes you'll hear about a natural Maduro and a cooked Maduro. Then there are colored Maduros. Again, because very dark tobacco became desirable during the boom and ever since, and there were lots of people that wanted to find a faster, easier, cheaper way to get there, some people would add things to the pressure cooker to make the tobacco even darker.
Okay. Now, is there a difference between doing a natural Maduro and a cooked Maduro? Is there going to be, what's the end result? Is the flavor different, the taste?
Yes, the flavor is different, mostly because time allows everything to happen better. It happens more completely, and it happens more evenly throughout the leaf. Sometimes, though, even without cooking, you can get a very, very dark Maduro. Just to give you an example. This is not a cooked Maduro, but it is about as dark as
very
it
dark.
gets.
Yeah.
There are even some companies that actually flat out color their cigars, but we don't want to go there. Most of those brands are long gone.
Right.
And that's,
You mean like artificially color?
yes,
They paint them.
they literally paint.
Was a lot of that during the boom?
Yeah, and that's when really even the cooking started. Before the boom, they didn't cook Maduros at all. There is one other part of the, I'll call it Maduroizing process. Normally, when you're fermenting tobacco, when it's time to cool it off, to break up the pile and stop the fermentation, you add liquid, you spray the leaves. It's mostly water. Generally, every tobacco processor, every master tobacco master, has their own formula for little bits of things that they add to that water that they spray. Sometimes there's a little lemon juice in it, sometimes there's a little rum in it, sometimes there's a little coffee in it. It's not to flavor the tobacco, it changes the chemistry of the fermentation. So the net result is a different flavor, but it's not going to taste like lemon juice or rum or coffee.
Right.
It's just going to change how the chemicals interact in the tobacco while it's fermenting. That liquid, for some reason, and I honestly don't know what the reason is, that liquid is called Bethune. And Bethune in Spanish means shoe polish. And there are people in the industry that have added to the Bethune things that will also, later in the fermentation process, make it get darker faster. So they're not colorants. It's not like they're adding dye to the Bethune, but they're adding things that sort of accentuate the whole chemical process that makes it dark.
Oh, it's interesting.
Like a self-tanning solution.
Wow.
Well, what's the difference between Oscuro and Maduro?
Oscuro means dark,
Rum.
and in the list of tobacco colors, and there's a long list of them, there are many of them, but in the list of colors, Oscuro is typically darker than Maduro. It just means dark. So
Is there anything, do they do anything different to it, or is they just classify it
they
as...
just, when they're sorting on the tables, when they're sorting the real dark stuff, they just call it Oscuro.
Okay.
Maduro has to have been processed a certain way, whether it's just the extra time in fermentation or whether they add a lot to the processing, it is a different process. Oscuro shouldn't be. That might be it.
So what you're saying is don't be afraid to smoke a Maduro cigar because it's not as strong as you think it is.
Chances are it's not as strong as you think it is. Chances are it's going to be sweeter and more complex. It's almost like a concentrated version of the same set of flavors.
Right.
So you're going to get more flavor, but
Right.
it won't be
Right.
stronger flavor.
Most cigar smokers smoke Maduros.
Right, what I was going
Prefer
to say is,
Maduro.
It's almost a safe assumption that if the cigar is dark, it's going to be stronger, but it has nothing to do with the leaf. It just so happens that a lot of the stronger cigars are darker. Now, it's not an absolute, it's an okay rule of thumb. Like a good example would be the Ashton Maduro. I mean, a very, very, very dark cigar, but it is not strong by any
Like
stretch.
the
Right,
Alcazar.
yeah.
Yeah, the
Alcazar,
Alcazar's like
and
that
they're
too.
really
It's a Nicaraguan, it's a Connecticut broadleaf with Nicaraguan filler, but it's a very mild cigar,
It
even though
is.
it's very, very
And
dark.
it looks good.
Yeah.
It does.
It looks good.
I should also point out to you that there are some tobacco leaves that will not become Maduro no matter what you do to them. And a good example is Connecticut. Even though we think of Connecticut shade, which is very light, you could grow Connecticut in the sun. It would be darker than Connecticut shade, but it wouldn't be Maduro, and it would never develop enough sugar to ferment into a real dark, classic Maduro kind of leaf.
So what's the difference with a Connecticut broadleaf?
It's a completely different plant. It's an unrelated species that just happens to have been developed in Connecticut originally. It's called broadleaf because instead of the leaves being long,
Right.
they're fatter. The whole plant grows low to the ground, and it's very, very responsive to fermentation.
Okay.
So good Connecticut broadleaf, when you ferment it, gets dark quick, and the flavor really develops
Yeah,
nicely.
they have that's nice.
That's why it
Maduro.
tastes
I like
good.
that. Yeah.
There are other leaves that people will use to make Maduro, but Connecticut broadleaf is the most desirable. It's also the hardest to get. There isn't that much land in Connecticut to grow tobacco on, and that particular leaf, Connecticut broadleaf, is very vulnerable to disease. So
That happened to Ashton.
about 5
Yeah.
years ago,
Yeah.
there was an outbreak of what they call blue mold
mold, yeah.
in Connecticut, and it wiped out the whole broadleaf crop. So once that worked its way through the pipeline, many cigars that were traditionally Connecticut broadleaf wrapper, they had to use something else.
Right. A lot of companies use the Pennsylvania
That's become more popular
E41.
lately,
Yeah.
Pennsylvania
Yeah.
broadleaf.
broadleaf. Yeah.
I remember
really
when it
Is
was,
that in Lancaster?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really thick.
I remember, this was long before I was involved with this company, that Ashton aged Maduros were impossible to get. And I guess that was a result of the blue mold.
Yep. That's
I
But
remember
that's a good cigar.
I think we should.
so far, other than Pennsylvania and Connecticut, broadleaf in particular has not been grown elsewhere. So you won't see Mexican broadleaf, you won't see Nicaraguan
Ecuadorian
broadleaf.
broadleaf.
You won't see Ecuadorian broadleaf, although I've been trying for 10 years
I'm sure.
to
not
get
surprised.
broadleaf to grow the right way down there. And half of the problem is the workers in the field. The only reason I say that is they're used to dealing with the plants a certain way, and broadleaf is so low, you have to work bent over all day, and they don't like to do
You
it.
get shorter people.
Well,
Just shorter
they're
people.
pretty short in
I'll go
Ecuador
down.
to begin with.
I'll go down.
No, they're shorter than you.
Wow,
Get
that's
some
pretty
Oompa
short.
Loompas. working in
Typical
the-
Ecuadorians
Get some
are
Oompa
short.
Loompas working in the factory.
Yeah, you'd be tall there, Rob.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
would.
really.
You
Wow.
should,
I should go down there then,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll-
You'd be king.
Come on down.
That's right.
Then we can do Rob in the field.
Robin,
There you go.
You don't want that.
Cool. Very interesting.
I think we
Thank
should go to our
you.
topic.
Yeah, what's our
First
topic?
topic.
But now we got to read the
I
cigar.
think. Wait, it's Wayne. I think
review.
favorite Christmas cigar or Christmas
Christmas
movie.
Yeah, man,
Wait,
Christmas, yeah.
My
Christmas
favorite
cigar.
Christmas movie
Christmas
is
movie.
A Christmas Story.
I
That
love
is
that.
a classic. I'm
Love
sorry.
that.
And they smoke a cigar in there. The delivery guy is actually smoking a cigar in the movie.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty appropriate, you know, to bring it all together. Peter Bingsley, Ralphie, just great. Just a classic. Oh, and Bad Santa. I had to. The director loved that one, so I had
Yeah.
to bring that one up
Oh,
there.
boy.
I'm
Isn't
sure.
there a cigar called Bad Santa now?
Probably.
What is that?
Angry
word?
They
Santa.
smoke
Angry
cigar.
Santa.
Oh,
Angry
Angry
Santa from
Santa.
CAL.
Yes, from CAL, right, okay.
Really?
My
Yeah.
favorite Christmas movie is Die Hard.
Yeah.
That's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
It
Oh
all
yeah, it
happens
was
on
Christmas.
Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Think what the
Okay.
theme music
I was.
said.
It was 90. I was
And
like
the weather.
5,
That is
6.
frightful.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
God.
I was too young.
Yeah,
I
I
And
think
I
I won't
think,
quit my
and
day
if I
job.
believe, I forget the name of the guy in the movie, the bad guy. In one of the scenes, he's smoking a cigar.
Is he?
I
I'll have to watch it
believe-
again.
yeah.
Look, now Rob's gonna watch it.
French
I
fries.
have to watch
Yeah.
that.
That's right, French cigars.
Galois.
Ah, yeah.
That was back before it was in politically correct.
Yeah. Huh?
Well, I'm an oddball. As you all already know.
yeah.
My absolute favorite Christmas movie is the Mr. Magoo Christmas Carol. I don't know.
That's
It's just
cute.
a little kid.
Does
I
he
just
smoke a
love that
cigar?
movie. I don't know.
Thank you,
I don't
Bruce.
think
I
so.
know.
Mr. Magoo.
Scrooge was a great one, too.
Ah, seriously, you
Scrooge,
stole mine.
Scrooge.
Scrooge, all my all-time favorite
All right,
Christmas
forget it.
movie.
Rewind this. Rewind your set.
Scrooge, this is my all-time favorite Christmas movie.
Oh, really?
Love
You
it.
love Bill
Absolutely.
Murray, don't you?
I like Bill Murray.
Oh,
He's very
I was
good.
gonna
He's
say you like
hilarious.
Bill Murray.
I like Rudolph.
Rudolph?
Whenever I see Rudolph, Frosty,
All those, yeah,
The,
yeah.
the
Reminds me
classic
when I was
that
a
come on
kid.
ABC channels, you know,
Yeah.
channel 6.
I
yeah.
absolutely
they're
love
cool.
those.
Peanuts. What was the one Peanuts where you got the little scrawny tree?
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
That's
Charlie
hanging
Brown
over
Christmas.
with
forgot
one
about
that.
one little glass ball hanging on
Peanuts.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
like
they're not
that.
movies, though. So
They're
Yeah,
TV
they are.
shows.
Car-
They're
cartoon
cartoons.
movies.
They're
They're
cartoons.
TV shows.
Cartoon
They're
movies.
movies now.
Yeah.
This is a TV show.
You know, nobody, yeah.
Nobody mentioned the most famous one.
Yeah, It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh,
wonderful
you know what? That was.
Oh, I never watched that.
I switched.
Too depressing.
Oh wait, no,
I
that's
switched.
You
that's
switched
that's
what?
an old movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Charlie-
black and
or
white.
the-
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
oh, you did. Yeah, you did switch.
Yeah.
What was the
And
one?
Elf.
The guy had they wanted the gun. The little
Christmas
kid-
Story.
Christmas Story.
Christmas Story.
Yeah.
That was
Wow.
great. That
It
great.
was good. That was
Right.
great.
I
Especially when
didn't-
the mom put him
you
in
know
that. Just imagine when your mom puts you in that snowsuit. It's really true. Like you really cannot move in that snowsuit. You have
Miracle on
like
34th Street.
Miracle on
Miracle on
34th Street.
34th
Yeah, that's a good one,
Street.
too.
There's a lot of good ones.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
are. Absolutely. You have Elf written down
Elf.
on there.
I know.
You know what? I didn't like that movie.
Oh, that movie was funny.
Nah.
wait, which one? Elf, the one
That's
with
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell?
Yeah, I
Ferrell.
thought that was
hate Will
cute.
Ferrell.
That was
Did
cute.
you really?
I don't find him funny at all, ever.
I love him.
I
He always
found him-
finds a way to take his shirt off.
I
in the
found him
movie,
funny in the Talladega movie. That was
I
hilarious.
find him funny in those Durango commercials.
though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ron Burgundy. Ron Burgundy, yeah.
I keep waiting for the horse to kick him.
I know.
He says, "You're totally useless" to
Yeah.
the horse. I want the horse to turn around and just kick him.
I think
That's
our
That'd be
viewers should
pretty fun.
email into the show and tell us what their favorite holiday
Sure, why
movie
not?
is. That'd be
Yeah,
kinda
that'd be cool.
Now, where would they do that?
Up at our website at cccigars.com. That's
doublec-cigars.com.
so cute when we do that.
Just
I don't know about
just
that.
look for the button on the website that says "Send us your email,"
There you go.
and you can comment and tell us your favorite Christmas movie.
Yeah, you can email us any questions you have, and maybe we'll read them on the air.
Or
And
send
then you get a
pictures.
shirt.
Yeah, get a
Send-
shirt. Get a Cigar shirt.
Or a branded. Sometimes we give away the branded shirts for some of the brands that come in, too.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah. Which I
You're going to get something.
still don't
You're
have a
gonna-
big
yeah, you're gonna
ass
get
bash
something
shirt.
from
A
us.
laurel
I'm
and a
upset
hearty
about that.
handshake.
Yeah.
Lovely. Well, what'd you guys think of the Fratello?
I'm going first. It's my favorite. Well, Master Blend is my favorite, but this is right there. I mean, the Fratello is just a great cigar. At the Big Ass Bash, I sold 15 boxes for him. So I made everybody go to that table. It was just, as
You
soon
just
as
like
they,
Omar.
no, I do like Omar in a friendly way, but no, the cigar was a great cigar, and I was trying to push it for him, and it's just a really good cigar. The construction's great. I love the band. Fratello means brother in Italian, so he's all about camaraderie with his cigars.
Nice.
Again, it's a very good cigar. I enjoy it. Well made. And you can really taste the Nicaraguan wrapper
can.
on it. It's a good cigar. Yeah, there's nothing bad you can say about the Fratello cigar. It is a good cigar. You'll enjoy it if you buy it.
Oh my God, I'm out. Look, it went out.
And to me, it is a nice, mild spice kind of cigar. You get the spice off the Nicaraguan wrapper, and you also get some off the Ecuadorian binder.
Right.
Because Ecuadorian always has some nice spice to it.
You like Ecuador, don't you?
He loves Ecuadorian. Anything Ecuadorian.
I really like the cigar a lot. I'm really getting the cedar taste and the creaminess of this cigar. I like this size the best.
The Corona.
The Corona
The
size,
Corona.
yeah, I like the size the best.
What are the other
I
sizes
think
they
it's really
have?
good.
Toro.
Oh, we talked about them.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
A Toro, a
Robusto,
Robusto, and a
and
Tamacle.
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 Tamakle.
I have not seen the Tamacle yet, though.
I am a voice of dissent.
Really?
You don't like it.
Oh, wow.
Not a big
Here we
fan.
go, moody,
Wow.
moody.
It's okay. It doesn't taste like your prototypical Nicaraguan to me. I don't get all the exact flavors that I normally get. And it's okay. There's nothing bringing me back to this cigar. Nothing like it's
Wow.
making me want to come back and buy it again.
Good but unremarkable.
Yeah,
Can't wait to
it's
see what
okay.
your rating is.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right,
How
well, we're going to
low
rate
you go.
1 to 5. I'm going to rate it a 4.
I agree. It's right on the money. It's a 4. Good, solid
Yes,
4.
good solid 4.
I give it a 3.85.
I'd give it an absolute 4. I agree with those guys, a 4.
and I'm going to bring it down. Although I'm not as bad as everybody else, but I'll go with the 3.5. It's not
That's fair.
It's not absolutely horrible, but just
Because I'm sure you have your favorites, and it's probably not. It's not
not
adding
in
up
it.
to your favorite. It's not, competing with your favorites.
yeah,
It's not up
just,
there.
I don't know,
Not
everybody
in his flavor profile.
Yeah, it's not.
No.
definitely not.
I think it's in mine because when I light it up, I don't get that harsh taste at first. It's very sweet, so it makes me want to keep smoking. Then I get the creamy in the middle, and then right when I'm thinking, okay, what am I going to get next? I get the sweet spice again when it comes back at the end. So
Fair
I
enough.
think that's why I like it.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah,
Nice.
thank you.
All right.
Excellent.
Well,
Yep.
we're introducing a new segment. It's Christmas Eve, and it's customer questions. We talked about, fire in your questions. Well, this is the first one. This comes from Freddie, and he is in our Colmore store, and he asks, "Can I use a cigar box as a humidor?"
We don't recommend that
How come?
because of, well, a humidor, it's crafted and made to keep your cigars, sealed inside. So you have like the extra seal in there, and then you have the cedar. Now, other cigar boxes are made with cedar, but you don't have that seal. I think that's
Correct.
the most important thing is to have the seal.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Also, typically, the cedar that's used in a humidor has a tighter grain than the cedar that's used in a box.
And what's that though?
Well, if the grain isn't as tight, then moisture can move in and out, so it's not going to hold the moisture
Right.
for your cigar.
Yeah. And think about it, if you buy a cigar and you leave it in a box, you still have to put the box into a humidor, even
Yes.
if you're aging it, because it will lose humidity, even sealed when you buy it. So there's no reason once we take the cigars out and you buy using it that it would then immaculately seal itself to keep the cigar.
What
Right.
about the boxes that come with actual, Arturo Fuente is really good for this one. He'll put in a little humi pack. So if they come like that, do you typically take it out and then put it in the humidor, or would you just leave it that way?
We definitely take them
Take
out of the
'em out.
box and put them in the humidor. That's just to help keep them moist during their
During the
During
travel?
the
traveling and
yeah.
tripping.
Right.
That's not going to, you can't keep those outside of a
Yeah.
humidor.
Some
That's
companies do make boxes with seals on them.
Right.
Yeah.
But I still wouldn't use it as a humidor.
No, I wouldn't use a humidor, but I'm saying, would you have to take it out of the box or leave it in the box with the,
That's personal preference.
Yeah.
Some people take all of their cigars out of the box and put them in the humidor.
Well, it depends on the size of your humidor too.
Yeah, but the box
True.
has to fit in the humidor, so if your box, if you
Yeah.
can't put the whole box in your humidor, you gotta take
Take
it
'em
out.
out.
Right.
Yeah, that's not gonna be good enough to keep them in a long
like
time.
I'm thinking my cherry wood one I have
Yeah.
at the,
Right.
the Reading store, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just not made to do that. So
Yeah.
anyway, all right.
It's almost time to say goodbye.
Is it really?
Almost.
Yeah, it
Oh my
is.
God,
Yeah.
I don't want to go again.
I got a party to go to, man.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Christmas
Christmas Eve.
Rob, why don't you take
I
us
have to
into next
wrap
week?
gifts.
Yeah, next
gotta
week
climb down
we're going
chimney.
to be talking about the Rocky Patel 2003 Cameroon cigar. Yeah. So
That's good, because I'm going to be talking about Cameroon wrapper.
good. Well,
Which
good
is
tie-in.
Rob's favorite.
That works right.
Right?
Absolutely, my favorite rapper.
All right.
All right, so we'll say goodbye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye for now.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a nice holiday and Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Smoke often, smoke happy, and smoke for Christmas.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
really.
Ciao for now, everybody.
Well, thanks for tuning in, and may you get lots of cigars and cigar accessories
Christmas,
under
yeah.
the
And
Christmas tree.
accessories.
Christmas tree, yeah.
Yes, and everybody have a very safe and wonderful Christmas Eve. Say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.